In a world obsessed with complex diets, biohacking tools, and anti-aging pills, the story of Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara stands out like a whisper in a noisy room. He was Japan's oldest practicing physician, seeing patients even at age 100. When he passed at 105, he left behind not just medical breakthroughs, but something far more powerful, a way of living rooted in simplicity, balance, and daily joy. He didn't obsess over calories, supplements, or trends. Instead, he practiced a handful of habits so natural and enduring that they became second nature. Today, we look beyond hype and fads. We'll explore 5 timeless principles inspired by Dr. Hinohara and the Okinawan way of life, habits that have helped generations live well into their hundreds while remaining vibrant, mobile, and mentally sharp. These aren't rigid rules, but daily rhythms. And they're all within your reach, starting with the most overlooked practice of all: how much we eat. 1. Eat until you're 80% full, Hara Hachi. In the West, fullness is often the goal of every meal. Clean your plate, we're told. Portion sizes grow larger, and value is often equated with quantity. But in Okinawa, Japan, home to one of the world's longest living populations, the philosophy is very different. They follow a Confucian practice known as Hara Hachi, which means eating until you're about 80% full. Then, they stop. This simple habit has profound physiological effects. By avoiding overeating, the body experiences less oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 of the major contributors to chronic diseases and aging. Research from the National Institute on Aging supports this, showing that modest caloric restriction can improve longevity, enhance metabolic health, and reduce age-related decline. Dr. Hinohara embraced this philosophy with quiet discipline. He ate slowly and mindfully, often leaving the table slightly unsatisfied. He believed the body functions best not when it's stuffed, but when it's gently nourished. This small discomfort created clarity and vitality well into his 90s. Many of us eat out of habit or emotion rather than need. Take Helen, a retired teacher in her late 60s. Raised with the mantra of never waste food, she found herself consistently overeating, even when her body signaled it had enough. This led to sluggish digestion, poor sleep, and low afternoon energy. Once she learned about Hara Hachi, she began pausing halfway through meals, asking herself, "Am I still hungry, or am I just finishing because it's there?" Within weeks, she noticed a shift: lighter digestion, improved energy, better sleep, and a renewed sense of joy at the table. 2. Embrace plant proteins. Especially soy protein is essential for healthy aging. It supports muscle strength, cellular repair, and hormonal balance. But in many Western countries, the default source is animal-based. Chicken, beef, and eggs dominate the plate. In contrast, the people of Okinawa rely heavily on plant-based proteins, particularly soy in its many forms: tofu, miso, natto, and edamame. These foods aren't just healthy, they're nutrient-dense powerhouses. Soy contains complete protein, meaning it provides all 9 essential amino acids. It also contains isoflavones, which have been shown to reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health. Additionally, soy offers prebiotic fiber that supports the gut microbiome, an essential factor in aging gracefully. Dr. Hinohara ate tofu almost daily. He believed its lightness helped his body function more efficiently, keeping his digestion smooth and his arteries clean. He didn't see food as fuel alone, but as a gentle support system for a long life. Frank, a 73-year-old retiree from Chicago, once avoided soy entirely. He had heard myths about its hormonal effects and steered clear. But after watching a documentary on Japanese centenarians, he decided to experiment. Twice a week, he swapped red meat for a tofu stir-fry with bok choy, garlic, and sesame oil. Within 3 weeks, his blood pressure dropped noticeably. Joint stiffness decreased. He found himself no longer needing an afternoon nap. He hadn't changed much, but the small shift created a ripple of change. 3. Don't fear fermented foods. They're your gut's best friend. In the West, gut health is a booming industry. Shelves are filled with probiotics, fiber powders, and digestive enzymes. But in Okinawa, the approach is simpler and older than science itself. It's built into their food culture. Fermented foods like miso, natto, pickled vegetables, and fermented seaweed are consumed daily, often at breakfast. Dr. Hinohara began his mornings with miso soup. It wasn't just tradition, it was a ritual of repair. Fermented foods are rich in live probiotics, digestive enzymes, and anti-inflammatory compounds. They feed beneficial gut bacteria, support immune function, and help the body extract more nutrition from the food we eat. Claire, a retired librarian from Boston, had struggled for years with bloating, irregular digestion, and fatigue. Despite trying probiotic capsules and digestive aids, nothing seemed to work. Then a friend gifted her a jar of miso paste. She began sipping warm miso broth each morning, just 1 cup. By the end of the 2nd week, she felt dramatically different. Her bloating disappeared, energy stabilized, and her relationship with food became more intuitive and relaxed. Unlike pills, fermented foods offer synergy, a living ecosystem that works with your body, not around it. And it costs less than a bottle of supplements. 4th, rethink carbs. Sweet potatoes are not the enemy. In recent decades, carbohydrates have been demonized in Western nutrition, especially for seniors managing weight, diabetes, or fatigue. But not all carbs are created equal. In Okinawa, carbohydrates are a dietary cornerstone, especially Japanese purple sweet potatoes, which make up over 60% of the traditional Okinawan diet. These aren't your average tubers. Purple sweet potatoes are loaded with anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that protect blood vessels, support heart health, and fight cognitive decline. They're high in fiber, vitamin C, and potassium, and they have a low glycemic index, meaning they digest slowly, keeping blood sugar stable and energy levels steady. Dr. Hinohara favored sweet potatoes over rice. He believed they were kinder to the body, nutrient-rich and deeply satisfying without causing energy crashes or digestive strain. Paul, age 69, had been pre-diabetic and constantly fatigued. He had been avoiding all carbs, including fruit and root vegetables. But despite his restriction, he felt worse, sluggish, moody, and constantly craving. After consulting a more holistic dietitian, he began including half a cup of steamed Japanese sweet potato with lunch. Within 2 weeks, he noticed more stable energy, reduced sugar cravings, and improved blood sugar readings. The lesson? Carbs aren't the enemy. Refined carbs are. Whole, fiber-rich, plant-based carbs like sweet potatoes are allies in healthy aging. 5. Live with rhythm, not rules. Perhaps the most powerful secret Dr. Hinohara shared had nothing to do with food. It was about how he lived. He didn't believe in strict diets or exercise regimes. Instead, he followed a rhythm, a daily flow that prioritized movement, purpose, and joy. Each morning, he walked, read, and sipped miso soup. He took stairs instead of elevators, even in his 90s. He remained intellectually curious, giving lectures and writing books well past 100. And most of all, he smiled. A lot. To stay young, he once said, you must have fun. Marie, age 71, had spent most of her adult life following every nutrition rule that came out. Low carb, low fat, sugar-free. She had tried it all. But the stress of managing all those shoulds left her anxious, tired and disconnected from her body. After reading about Dr. Hinohara, she began to shift. She took morning walks, sipped green tea slowly, planted herbs on her windowsill, and gave herself permission to eat simply and joyfully. Her body didn't just change, her life did. Health is not just physical, it is emotional, mental, rhythmic. When you align with your natural energy and nourish your spirit, not just your stomach, everything else begins to fall into place. Final thoughts. Start small. Live deeply. These 5 practices may seem simple, but their power lies in their consistency. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Try miso soup in the morning. Eat until you're 80% full. Swap one meat-based meal for tofu or lentils. Steam a sweet potato. Take a walk after lunch. Smile during dinner. These small actions add up, not just to longer years, but to better years. Dr. Hinohara didn't chase perfection. He embraced rhythm. He nourished joy. He lived lightly and lived long. So ask yourself today, which one small habit will you start? And if you do, maybe, just maybe, you'll feel younger by tomorrow.